This is a tutorial about how to complete a graduation planning sheet for any student graduating from CSU Pueblo. You will notice that at the beginning of the planning sheet, this is where the student inputs his or her personal information, PID, local address, mailing address, which should be a permanent address due to that is where the diploma will be mailed later. Also, the student needs to check what degree they are seeking in the items below. This student will be completing a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, so that item will be checked. Below that, the student will need to write what major the student has focused on. In this instance, the student has a major in business management. And you also will note what semester he or she intends to graduate. Again, this student will be graduating in fall of 2012, according to this planning sheet right here. Also, at the bottom, you will need to check whether this is an initial application, a 3+2 application, or an amended application, which assumes that the previous application has changed so greatly that it needs to be amended. The majority of them will be an initial application. Please check here. The following page illustrates what catalog and what general education requirements within that catalog are in effect for this student. This student is using the 2008-2009 catalog, which should be written at the top on this line. This is a list of the different general education requirements depending on certain catalog years. Catalogs in effect summer 1992 to 2001 are in this category. Summer 2001 through spring of 2003 are in the following category. This student began at the university in the spring of 2009, which puts him in the catalog for general education requirements starting summer of 2003. To confirm the catalog in use for a student, you may want to look in AIS in the Student Advising Enrollment Permit icon or in DARS to confirm what general education requirements are required for that student at that time, where he needs 3 credits of math, 6 credits of English, 9 credits of humanities, 6 credits of social science, 3 credits of history, 8 credits of natural sciences, which is 2 sciences with 2 labs, and you need to identify that he has completed his cross-cultural component through one of his humanities. When evaluating the cross-cultural component, there is a list of courses that fill this requirement located in the catalog. Please refer to that list if you are unsure. After confirming what the student had completed for his general education requirements, or still needs to complete, you would identify using the transcript how many total credits have been completed. If the student had any remedial courses, you would identify those there and subtract those. After that, you would identify any credits over the maximum number of transfer credits allowed. The student doesn't have any. Credits over 10 years old. Again, this student doesn't have any, but if he did, you would subtract those courses from there to come up with a total earned hours toward graduation. This student is 89. At this point, you are now towards the end of completing your graduation planning sheet for any student. You will want to use the student's transcript or DARS to identify all the classes that have been completed before you complete the remaining part of the graduation planning sheet. You can find out exactly how many classes have been completed, their GPA, as well as evaluating the number of upper division courses they have completed, so that you can complete the last remaining page of the graduation planning sheet. At the top, you would need to identify how many credits of upper division the student had completed up to that point, not having been enrolled in, but completed. The student must complete 40 credits of upper division level coursework for them to graduate. This student has completed 18. You would also, using the transcript, identify what their current GPA is. Below that, you would identify what classes are needed to complete graduation. In the current semester, he will need all of these classes from here to graduate. They are listed in his spring 12 semester. At this point in the process, all that is remaining to do is list the courses that need to be completed in order for the student to be degree complete. At the top of the list are the courses the student is currently enrolled in that are necessary for graduation. They are listed under the Spring 2012 column. Also coming to a total of 15 credits, and then adding that to the existing 89, the student has 104 credits. From there, you will identify what is still remaining for the student to graduate. This student needs 2 management electives, 1 open business elective, 1 open elective, a required course, and another required course. All of those totaling up to 16 credits to complete the required 120 credits for graduation. It is important to note that when completing a graduation planning sheet that you do not need to write a specific course if it is just completing an open elective or an open departmental course that is required for the major, like open business elective or open science elective. What you would like to do is leave it open for the requirement and complete the number of credits required. Don't write a specific course, or an amended planning sheet will be required. If the student is a double major or a double minor, additional signatures are required in order to complete this graduation planning sheet. It is also important to note that with additional degrees or additional minors, the total hours earned toward graduation will increase, and thus their signatures verify that credits are needed or are completed in order to have additional degrees or minors put forth onto the graduation plan. Lastly, what you will need to do is sign, acknowledging that you have reviewed this graduation planning sheet and that it is complete as the advisor of record. If the student has a minor advisor, they will need to sign below. The dean or department chair from which his major came from will need to sign on the following line. The student will need to sign before turning this in to the records office.